Hey, welcome to STG Weekly again. So we're doing another podcast episode. I'd like to welcome our hosts, all that are all here. We've got Trap 15.
Hey, hey.
We've got Soft Drink.
Hey guys.
And then last but not least, we've got Soda Machine.
Hello, hello.
Anyways, and as you know, I'm the F-Man, Frenetic here. This podcast is, we're trying something different here, and we're having a mumble chat for you guys to come and talk in our call-in portion of the show towards the end of the episode. So, yeah. But we're going to be basically doing a year in the review. As we had talked earlier last year, STG Weekly had their 2-year anniversary. So thank you to our new viewers and also our longtime viewers. So we're just going to get started in the year with a review. It was a big year for STG Weekly. We got to do a lot of things, and probably Soda Machine, you were probably a partner in all of the busy things and events that we did this year. Would you like to talk a little bit about it?
I haven't prepared anything.
Okay, well let's hear from Soft Drink then.
Wow, I mean, this year's been pretty crazy. I mentioned it a few times in past episodes and on my own stream, but I really think that we've kind of come a long way. I remember like when you and I were starting out doing the convention stuff, just experimenting with that, and it was like the two of us and like 3 people with this bloated PowerPoint presentation, no idea what we were doing at like the smallest convention in the country, and then we by the end of the year we had Anime Expo, and that was totally crazy and just way better reception than I was expecting, and we made connections with John Cao at the Gamers Guild, and we have we're getting invited to these charity events, and we did Extra Life, and it was just awesome. It's just really been amazing to be a part of that and to see this kind of develop like that. Not something I was expecting, that's for sure. And then working with TohoCon was awesome as well. That was it was a rushed setup, but I think we have a lot of stuff planned for next year, and that should be a lot nicer, I think. So that's exciting too. I don't know. I mean, I think kind of the highlight for me has just been seeing how far it's gone, and it's making me wonder. I like I said before, I don't know if we're ever going to be like mainstream popular, but it's definitely cool that we're starting to get a foothold, and seeing things like Patashu's DOJBL run on the AGDQ bonus stream. Like that's awesome, and the fact that there were 20,000 people watching that, it's amazing. I think that we're in a good position right now. I don't really know what's happening, but there's definitely momentum. We're definitely moving somewhere. I just don't know where that somewhere is, and I'm excited to see where we end up, basically.
We're all going to join hands and journey down this road that is STG Weekly together. And all of you out there are allowed to join us, so come with us.
And speaking of events, I understand that Aquas is at MagFest right now. Caught him streaming some shmups a couple days ago from MagFest, so everyone, nice big shout out to him, representing us on the East Coast. Thank you, man.
Yeah, Aqua's repping us. How about you, Trap 15? Let's talk about, you've joined the STG Weekly hosting team. You were there over at Anime Expo as well, right?
Yeah, it was. It was crazy. It was awesome.
What are some of your favorite moments from going to Anime Expo? And basically, I was just like, "Hey, what's going on? Come on down." Apart from the line that the badge stuff.
Yeah, that was silly. But when the panel was about to start, and you were like, "Okay, let's all go up there," and I was like, "Wait, no, I thought I was just helping out. Oh, dang." And then I did it. It was like, oh, actually, this is really cool. Why didn't I say, like, yeah, I want to be up there? And then like standing up in front of the projector while soft drink freaking looped Ketsui that was
On his
insane.
first try, that was crazy.
Like,
well, it was the second try. I had that one run where I gave over in stage 1, but...
Oh, okay.
You remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember that. It was
yeah,
silly.
there was I think we all had that moment where, you know, we were in that room, and they started letting people in, and they just kept coming in, and
there were so many people. I was so surprised.
It was just like, holy shit, this is real life. Like, wow.
Yeah, there were like tens of people, and then finally kept on filing in. I thought it filled a lot of the room.
Yeah, it was like half full or something. It was pretty full.
Yeah, like of a 500 room house. Yeah,
it was pretty crazy. So, and by the way, for anyone curious, this is a podcast episode, so we can play whatever the hell we want. And for now, we're kind of forcing Soda to just bear with us. So. He's
I'm enjoying myself.
Looks like he's having some fun with Doom right now, so I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, we need some first-person
Doom's a shooter. Yeah, it's a shooter. It counts. It's an STG.
Shooting.
We're just trying to promote like cross genres here, so yeah, it looks really good. So first we'll start off with talking about. First of the year, which was Anime Los Angeles. That was actually just about 1 year ago. That was the first time that I think we did Pacific Media Expo before, but this was like the start of last year, and we got a 10 a.m. showing there.
Yeah, something like it was either. I think it was 10 a.m. at PMX, and then we had like 11 a.m. at ALA or something. They were both before noon, and they were both on Sunday, which is kind of not a good time slot.
But that's right. That was kind of our really academic presentation where we just tried to cram everything in a PowerPoint, like on the history of shmups, right?
No, that was PMX. PMX was the really academic one. ALA was we just retooled everything. We went with like a much more abbreviated history, and then we went into like a full Ketsui run as a demo. That worked a lot better, but still wasn't quite right.
Yeah, like I said, it takes that moment where you have to do it live and perform it before you actually know what to do, because it's kind of in the moment, and you can only have that when you actually carry out the event and then look back at it. So the first two, they're not abject failures by any means, but they were a really great. I'm glad that we had that instead of just going to Anime Expo straight away, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those first couple were like, this is how you don't do this thing. I think we made the mistake with PMX and with ALA to a lesser extent of giving a presentation that we would want to see as people who are already into the genre, and that's not our audience. Our audience at an event like that is people who don't know anything about these games, who are curious about our strange name on the description. They looked at the schedule and they're like, "Oh, what the fuck is this shit?" I think that was our biggest mess up there. But I mean, those both, they went pretty well, I think. I mean, we learned a lot, and we had a good time, and then we were able to kind of segue from that into the back room of SoCal Regionals, which was a really interesting experience as well.
Yeah, let's move in that. Okay, so for you guys out there that don't know, I play fighting games. Well, I play Street Fighter as Dan, and I was like, SoCal Regionals is one of the biggest West Coast fighting game tournaments in America. And what happened was Shinjin, one of the organizers of the event, follows STGWeekly on Twitter. And so I think I approached him in a Twitter direct message and asked him if we could be at SoCal Regionals. What were your thoughts, Soda, when I was talking about SoCal Regionals and us going there?
The one?
Did you?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, that's for soft drink. That question's for soft.
Oh, okay. You're getting the soft drink soda confusion. It's very understandable. We've had this issue before.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Let's see, what were my thoughts? I mean, I thought it was awesome, first of all. I mean, I've always been interested in fighting games. I'm terrible at them. And I'm massively intimidated by the fighting game community, so probably never going to be playing competitively or anything, but I do enjoy...
Get in there and wreck some scrubs.
I do definitely enjoy playing the games. And so that was kind of exciting for me, especially since at the time I was actually playing... I started playing BlazBlue a little bit before, and of course they had the newest versions of BlazBlue at SCR, so I got to see some of that and some very high-level play of that, which was pretty exciting. But I think more interesting to me was the idea that we would be kind of going to this event where there's other people who are already interested in arcade games and already interested in kind of that mindset and that aesthetic, and going to try and promote shooting games there. It definitely didn't quite work out as I had hoped, but at the same time we got a pretty nice hookup in the back room there. We were able to get basically half the room dedicated to our setups, which was great. We were able to do a lot of little demos there. It was pretty good. You know, I wouldn't say it was everything it could have been, but it worked really well, and I think it's put us in a good place for knowing how to get a team of people together and knowing how to deal with projectors and media and, knowing how to get setups ready. And those kind of things would come in handy when we went to AX, for sure.
Yeah, that's right. SoCal Regionals, we realized that it can't just be me and Soft Drink. We had great help from Japter, who's also on Shmups Forum, and JelloMan581, who's actually... in addition to being a Shmups enthusiast, he's been a fighting game enthusiast for quite some time and goes to the events. And I did a lot of talking with him about how to, promote Shmups to fighting game players. And we had some fighting game players come up and play. We also had one of the interviewers, Cade, was there. The girl that came and played Lucia Misiyama Futari. She had interviewed Ikeda for a publication as well. So
no way, I didn't know that.
Yeah. She's an independent writer. I can send you the interview, guys, if you're interested in reading it. So you make these little events like these. She's a writer, but she also played Virtual Fighter. She's a very good Virtual Fighter player.
I had no idea that was even... I don't think I ever spoke to her there. That's funny.
Yeah, I was thinking about SoCal Regionals. Usually you're like, oh no, that's a fighting game community. They won't be interested in it. But you have to go and just kind of make it happen. Because when we were at Anime in Los Angeles or either PMX, Infrit ran a day, or came over, who's known as he was a very big Evo Marvel vs. Capcom 3 player, and he strolled on by and played Ketsui, right? I think you talked to him, right, Soft Drink?
Yeah, I was talking to him as he was playing. It was actually really interesting to watch. He wasn't... I'm not going to say he was good, because he wasn't good, but he had a lot of the right ideas in a way that I've almost never seen people who just come into the genre. He was trying to keep a lot of space, and really he was thinking about the way that the screen worked and his relationship with, with enemies and bullets, and he was, I wouldn't say tap dodging, but he was doing dodges which were approaching the idea of a tap dodge, and he was bombing all the time, which for a new player is actually pretty surprising because usually I see people just flail around and they're like, "What the fuck? How do I anything?" And they don't panic bomb. He was like on top of the panic bomb. So it definitely like a really simple explanation of how to play the game somehow clicked with him right away. And I think that some of those kind of ideas of, you know, watching your opponent and understanding spacing, he was trying to apply those to this genre, and it was just interesting to see kind of how those lined up in a way with the strategies that we normally use in STG. So it was a very interesting experience, that's for sure. And going back to SCR, you know, it was funny. We didn't get that many people to play at SCR, but we got a lot of people standing around watching and being like, "Oh man, it's so cool you guys brought these games here. Like, I totally didn't expect to see this stuff at SoCal Regionals. Like, oh, it's great."
Yeah, and I think as long as they start seeing shmups and events like, you know, maybe that next SoCal Regionals, they'll come and play. An important part of at SoCal Regionals, we actually had Godlike Scrub, who actually lives very close to me. He ended up joining the Shmups IRC chat and was a valued member also in Anime Expo. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you
Yeah,
never
Godlike
know.
Scrub's cool. It's pretty cool. Glad
Yeah,
you
he's
guys
a
met
cool
him.
guy. I had a little micro meet and had him over at my place for like half a day a while ago. I'm thinking about having another one of those. I just haven't had free time in a while, so I might have one or two people over, chill out. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, he's a cool guy.
Guys, if you are out there in the STG Weekly IRC chat or Twitch chat, hit up Soft Drink. You can go ahead and see his place and hang out with the Soft Drink guy.
Well, it's not like I said, it's not like a free for all. I haven't had time.
He's in a small apartment.
It's a really tiny apartment.
Yeah.
It's like I cannot hold a real meet. I can have like one or two people. That's it.
Space is limited, guys. Hit up Soft Drink. So we're actually trying to build a small community, at least like a very good crew that we can bring to live events. So actually, Godlike Scrub is coming to the charity stream next Friday, in February, next month, February 13th, the Friday, and we're going to be talking more about that charity stream later.
Yeah, maybe we should just summarize the rest of this year and head on over to the upcoming stuff.
Okay. So let's go straight away. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Let's go ahead and go for the upcoming year. We're going to be doing a charity stream on Friday, February 13th. It's going to be from 12 noon to 12 midnight. And the exciting thing about this charity stream is we're having arcade setups. I was able to get some super gun setups. So what we're going to be having...
plural?
Yes. So I will...
Ooh, I could bring mine too, so we get another setup even.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're going to have all these setups. So this is the idea for the charity stream. Not only will we have Xbox 360, and we're having Joey Beta back, and he's picking the games that he'll be playing. As you remember, Joey Beta was our collaborator with TohoCon, which we're going to talk about. We are having... I have these Japanese super guns from Japan, or they were from Japan. You might be familiar with this. They're called Sigma super guns. They're the Sigma brand. They are AV7000 with sticks. So I've got the 9000 TB sticks, and what I'm working on is getting Sony PVMs, hopefully in the future, to bring as full portable setups. But right now,
nice.
I'm bringing a television and an XRGB-2 for with a monitor, and then we can do that for a tape monitor. So I don't know if I'm going to bring both setups, but we have two.
I think we'll also have at least a couple streaming setups there, assuming everything goes according to plan. I'm going to try to bring my computer and my streaming setup, and I think Ryan, are you bringing a laptop for streaming? And I think Joey's going to try to bring his tower as well. So we might even be able to run 2 or 3 streams if we can get the bandwidth, which would be awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have. I'll have my X Capture 1 with a laptop, so we'll at least have that one. And I think Joey Bait is bringing his.
So yeah, we'll definitely try to run, a few different setups, and we'll try to get as much as we can streamed. So that should be really cool.
Can you speak some more about your Super Gun setup, or how you made it, or bought it, or?
Let's see. So like 3 or 4 years ago, I bought it off of Metal, and Metal bought it from Mr. Monkey Man's. So this is the super gun that got a Ketsui or a clear. So
shit!
It's a it's a priceless heirloom. No,
you know
but
what?
It's
That's
a
funny
pretty
you should mention
standard.
that. The one that I have is supposedly comes from EOJ of Cave STG
Oh
forum.
man!
Oh,
So
awesome!
They're going to be joined together at the charity stream.
That's pretty cool.
But go on, I just wanted to interject that. Talking about super guns with storied history.
Yeah, so it's kind of a bare bones super gun. I mean, it just does composite and S-video out. It has like the Neo Geo DB15 joystick plugs, just 2 in front. And there's
that's awesome.
There's no way to do a kick harness though, which can be a little bit annoying. But I mean, it works out pretty well. And the controller it came with is a modified Saturn pad, so it's nice to play on. I mean, that's about it. It's pretty bare bones. It's not much special stuff to it, but it works quite well. So I haven't had any issues with it.
That's great to hear. Man, Mr. Monkey Man. Now that guy's a mystery guy.
That's
Mr.
a crazy
Monkey Man,
guy.
Mr.
Yeah.
He's
No.
crazy.
We've tried to get him on STGWeekly, so if you're out there, Mr. Monkey Man, we still want you back. Gus has been on here, so, and also the rest of the shmup hipsters. So come on down.
So other than, let's see, the charity stream, we don't really know all that much about it right now, other than the hours and that we're going to try to get a lot of stuff there. But we don't know a lot of the details yet about how we're going to be set up there and what public access is going to be like. I do know that there's an expected attendance of probably about 1,000 people, which should be pretty great, especially if we can get a lot of people to watch or play games when we're there. So that's pretty exciting, and I'm hoping that we can get ourselves in a good spot. John, the founder of Gamers Guild, he seems very, very excited about what we're doing and very willing to help us out. So that's pretty sweet. And then let's see, we're also trying to get into SoCal Regionals again this year, not just in the back room, but as part of the main floor. But we haven't heard really anything about it. Ryan, do you happen to have any updates about what's going on with that?
It's Frenetic. Use my name. Use my
Okay,
handle.
fine. Frenetic, do you happen to have any updates about what's going on with that?
Yes, the F-Man is here to tell you a little bit more information. So what ended up happening is things have been postponed because there's been the fighting game community has had a lot of things happen. As a side, I might know who the secret backer of the low tier god in this camp match that has recently gone viral on Gold Star Hip Hop just earlier this month. But what happened was Super Arcade, which was the physical location of kind of the West Coast scene, at least the SoCal scene, is looking for a location. So that's not going on anymore. Also, Alex Baye, who helps run SoCal Regionals, as Level Up Productions with his crew, and Shinjin, did he win? they are busy running PAX South in San Antonio. So what I've heard down the grapevine is, and that's going on this weekend.
Yeah.
So what I've heard so far is that maybe SoCal Regionals is coming in like late March, late April, early May.
I see. So just push back a couple months. Interesting. Okay, well that explains why we haven't really heard anything yet. Sounds like a lot of things are in flux with that, but we're definitely trying to get up there, and it's a priority of ours to try to make it in there and leverage what we can, because we had a great time there last time, and we'd love to be a part of the main floor this time. So
what I'm trying to do is, since I just want to say that STG Weekly's side show, as you know, Awesome Game Replays, earlier last year we had the Tetris, Western Tetris, the Grandmasters, stay the night at the F-Man's Pad, and we filmed an Awesome Game Replays episode of Tetris the Grandmaster series in the Man Cave. And from that video footage, they submitted that to Awesome Games Done Quick, which was an Awesome Game Replays episode. And that's played a part with them getting on the stream, on the main stream for Awesome Game Replays. Make a long story short, now with physical super gun setups that I have acquired, I'm going to also try to bring in Tetris the Grandmaster 1, since there's a lot of interest there from the fighting game community, since Kevin DDR used a tournament Mad Catz fight stick. And also James Chen, Jay Chenzor on Twitter, donated during the Tetris stream. He's one of the main fighting game community commentators, and little did we know that he is a Tetris enthusiast, and so hopefully maybe we can get him in some part of the Tetris, the Grandmaster, so we're going to bring the PCB and real arcade hardware and have that as a side thing, so maybe that might allow us in SoCal Regionals as well.
Awesome. Let's see. As far as other events go for kind of the next year, as mentioned before, we are working with TohoCon. We haven't talked to them in great depth yet, but we know that they want us back, and we want to be back. It was a really cool experience to be a part of that. So we're going to come at it with a much better plan, and hopefully be able to put out a much more polished stream. Even multiple streams would be ideal. We were able to, at the last charity stream, they were actually watching during some of my Extra Life plays and caught my DOJ runs, and including the clear. So that was pretty cool, and I know that they're both very interested in shooting games other than Toho games, so they would be perfectly fine with large-scale demonstrations of other STG at TohoCon 2015. So hopefully we can get that set, which would be really exciting.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and run more Toho tournaments, and now that we know how to do more setup, and we went through the growing pains of doing a stream and running tournaments, also using, for Phantasmagoria, Flower View, using the network program to have people play against each other locally. The name escapes me, but we're working on that. Last year I was able to 1cc Perfect Cherry Blossom normal mode, so I'm going to do a demo of that. And Jamers91, you did say Toho, so this is an open invite to you Toho players. We need to have more people to do demos. So Jamers, maybe you can make it out to TohoCon. Also, I'm the F-Man also homebrews as well, and might be bringing a keg of special Zune themed beer, Toho beer, at an after party.
Oh yeah.
So you guys come up there too. And Brooks Bishop, thank you for the reminder. We've been talking about doing maybe more demos of indie shmups at TohoCon. Especially a tournament would totally fit in the TohoCon. And as well, we were talking to the developers from Pentavis or Pender about
Pentavera.
Pentavera.
About Hangeki, yeah.
Hangeki. So at least we might have those two people come in and have like the Dojin shmups at TohoCon. So we've got Dojin shmups maybe in the dealer room, doing demos in the gaming room. We just got a lot of stuff going on. We're planning for TohoCon. It's probably we're in there. STG Weekly is in Toho, and Toho is in STG Weekly.
We're also going to try to get back into Anime Expo, and hopefully we can make it even bigger and better this year. So we can't really say any more than that because we haven't actually applied yet. But hopefully we can get that together. And since we have a lot of good footage and recommendation based on our last panel, I think we should probably be able to get there. And our goal is to make it even bigger and better. So we'll definitely post updates about that as soon as we have any confirmation, so that, you know, if people want to come out for that, they can. You know, we'll ask for people who are actually good at games to demo, unlike me, where coincidentally I looped Katsui, which was awesome. I'm not gonna say it was bad, but it definitely wasn't expected. So we're gonna try to push for that as well. And then Ryan, you have this bullet point here. Washoi in the West. What exactly is that supposed to mean? Oh, I'm sorry. Frenetic. You have this bullet point here.
That's right. The F-Man will only answer to Frenetic or F-Man because that's who he is right now. So, as you guys know from the... you might have heard of Washoi in Europe, which is in Stunfest, right? And they've been doing a great job of bringing just Washoi shmup theme demos and just super players to Europe. This is Washoi in the US. I've been personally in talks with secret organizers to perhaps create a Washoi in similar to Stunfest in the United States. If you would be interested in participating in some capacity, we need maybe translators for Washoi in the US. Please get a hold of me at the Shmups Forum. So you heard it here first, guys. That's why you got to turn in live to the STG Weekly podcast, because as you can see from last year, STG Weekly live events have just been moving forward, and then we're going to try to make this happen.
Infinite hype.
Same.
And I want to add that for you guys out there are talking about a lot, the reason why these things are happening is because we've been trying to think about a little bit more outside the box, like awesome game replays, encompassing like accomplished arcade style gameplay, us going to fighting game communities. So the sky's the limit for shmups and SGGs. I would like to issue you guys a challenge out there to maybe host some of your events at an anime convention or a fighting game convention and do demos like we are. These are rubrics for you guys to do your own shmup theme events at your own anime conventions or tournaments and whatnot. There's a definite a desire for people. They don't know it yet. So please do this.
I think that's the biggest thing that or at least that I've noticed from this last year, is people connect with these games and they do it kind of instinctually, like on a very basic level. Like everyone knows what a shooting game is. They may not know what specific game it is. They may not know what the specific rules are, how to score, or anything like that. But there's something really visceral and simple about the concept, in much the same way that everyone understands what a fighting game is. And I think that people really they connect with these games on that level, but they don't consciously recognize that because they seem so dated. But I have yet to have anyone come by who did not know what was going on, who did not at least have some recognition. And there's lots of like I said, people, even if they don't want to play, they have a lot of fun watching. So if you have like a local gaming meetup, just try bringing a Xbox 360 and some cave games and just see what happens. If you have a convention, go just sit in the games room. I mean, you don't have to put on a proper panel like we did. That's maybe taking it a bit too far for some people, but just go get out there and start pushing these games into a more public space. And I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised at how much of a connection there is with a lot of people.
I would also like to add, at these public events, people are just interested in these games, and it's really fun. You can meet a lot of people through these games that you would otherwise not have met. So I think we should probably go into, unless you guys want to add something, into the call-in portion of the show. So again, guys,
just one more note, actually.
Yeah.
I did want to make an announcement. STG Weekly has been around for a couple of years, and that entire time we've been pretty ghetto. I mean, we're getting there slowly, but we've pretty much existed off the back of one forum and a YouTube channel and a Twitter page. We are in the process of working up a website, and it's going to be slow going. I can't say when it's going to happen, but hopefully in the next couple months you'll start to see some news about that. But ideally, we will have a proper website, listing of all of our episodes, maybe even like a small forum or online radio station. I'm talking to Joey Beta about that and asking if he has any advice on how to set something like that up. Or maybe even like an online store or something. So, we have a lot of ideas right now for that kind of thing. And there's, we're just talking around and trying to figure out the best way to implement things. But if you guys have any suggestions, please let us know on the forum or on Facebook or on Twitter, or even in YouTube comments. We do listen to your suggestions. So if you have any ideas for things you'd like to see on a site, or for merchandise you'd like to see us look into, just drop us a comment and we will absolutely investigate it. So just thought I should put the word out there. That is something to look forward to in the next few months, hopefully.
Okay, guys, so I've put the shmupsmumble.com server along with the port in the Twitch chat. So guys, load up your Mumble, join the chat. We're going to be in the STG Weekly room, so come on in. We're going to be in there. Again, big ups to Kagar, who created this room. We've just been having a great old time coming in and talking with people voice. I know there's the Shmups RRC, which is really good. But the Mumble is really cool too, because we can just kind of sit and chill and chat, during when people are doing streaming runs or whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic for streams. Like, there's a lot more engagement, and like there's a lot more just going on when you're streaming, when you can like talk with someone with your voice instead of being like, say something and then wait like 30 seconds for the chat to respond because of Twitch delay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like it's just a lot more interactive, and it's a lot more fun to stream when you're on the Mumble.
That's really important. True. That's really important. If you're streaming, guys, it's great to have Mumble because, yeah, they're watching, but you can also talk to them right away. It's really cool. So Shmuppy loves coming in. Sapphire Densetsu is already in. So guys, come on in. Come on in.
And
the water's fine.
We'll be taking, I think, just general questions, but the topic of this episode is still technically on super guns and hardware and arcade cabs and stuff like that. So we might bring up some experiences with that as well while we go. So if you guys have any specific questions about that kind of stuff, feel free to ask. So with that, maybe we should bring in first caller, I guess. I don't know if we should call it that, but
Sapphire is in the room, so please, Sapphire, you can ask a question.
Do 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 do
Yeah.
do 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 do.
it sounds like he needs a minute.
Hello.
Hey, Sapphire, welcome.
Hey, it's great to see. Is the background audio okay? Like, I know Mom's watching TV in the background, but whatever. Anyways, hi.
Hey.
Welcome, Sapphire. Do you have any questions or comments for the STG Weekly crew?
Questions? I don't really have any, but as far as like comments go, I'm really excited for all the website development and also like maybe a potential stream ticker. That'd be nice.
Oh,
As
speak
long
more
as
By
on
stream
that.
ticker,
You
do
know,
you mean
just-
what exactly are you referring to? Like,
Something
Like,
something
index
like
of-
something like ST Grills.
oh, okay, yeah, that was the example I was going to use, was like something like ST Grills. By the way,
Yeah.
if people do not know about ST Grills, go check out ST Grills. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's basically a site which lists a bunch of people who are currently streaming shooting games. It's specifically aimed at Toho games, but there's a lot of people who stream non-Toho stuff on there as well. I'm on there. I think Ryan's on there. Frenetic is on there. Trap is on there. Icarus is on there.
Most shooting game people are on there.
Yeah,
really.
most of the people on Shmups who stream are on there.
So I'm
Oh,
putting
sweet! Ryan
in-
tossed up a link to it.
There's a link, guys. Bookmark it. When you're in your stream, first you need to sign up on the SG Grill site, and also you need to put in the tag STG, lowercase or uppercase in brackets, and you will appear on the stream. So please, we want to have more
Oh,
streamers. And then would be really great if you guys join the Mumble while you're streaming, and then we guys can come in and party and just have a good old time hanging around and watching your stream and just getting a good time with hot shmup guys and girls. Watching.
I just realized that I had totally forgotten that you needed the STG tag. So like I've been streaming like every day this week, but I haven't had the tag in, so
No!
it's not been showing up. Oops.
Oh, Trap.
It's
Wow.
easy to forget. Because like
It
SRL
is
has
easy to forget.
no SRL, which is a lot easier.
Yeah, you have to put it in the Twitch description, so even the best of us forget, so Sapphire, can you talk about like how you got into shmups maybe?
Yeah, okay, sure. So, when I was like, I think it was like 12 or 13, I pretty much just like given up on video games as video games. I was really into like emulation and the like, but I just couldn't care anymore as far as like, cause the challenge wasn't there. I mean, I just didn't know. But then I discovered like, a show on YouTube that you might have heard of, GameSack, through puzzle games, and then then I watched some of their episodes, and they started recommending shmups or whatever. So from there, I just decided, you know, I should research this. So I discovered Radiant Silvergun, and then from there, I just set up a Saturn emulator and played Silvergun Saturn mode for a year straight without interruption. But that was like my first experience in the genre, but then things just really exploded once Moochie Spork on YouTube, he posted a Side Ojo clear with a shot. Once I saw that, my brain just melted out of my ears, and it was like, oh my god, I have to play this. Oh, okay. And then I saw Cave, so it's like, okay, what's Cave? Then I researched from there, got Dodonpachi, and man, was having the time of my life. Credit Fed Garega, and then I got on IRC, had a rather embarrassing 3-week stint, and then I just KP, few months, same thing honestly. Then I just got more reclusive, started actually getting the okay at shmups, and now I made it my 2015 resolution to actually be active and productive in the community. So, yay 2015!
Yay 2015!
Yeah, yay 2015. Nice resolution too. I think we all share that here at STG Weekly. Kind of transitioning from a more ghetto state to a slightly more polished, professional, and productive state.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting.
Do we have any more callers then? Or,
Yeah, please.
So,
please, people calling.
any
What happened
new
to Schmuppy
callers?
Love? You said you were gonna be coming
Yeah,
in.
please go. Ripperoo, come in. Join the party.
Ripperoo, you can double click
okay,
on
okay.
STG Weekly and you will come in here.
I don't think he wants to. He knows how to join
Or-
because he joins my streams all the time.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Well, that sucks. But whatever. I also
Let's see. Well, are there any questions from chat? Are there any things specifically that people are interested in? Maybe if there's no one calling in, we can have like a more formal discussion on hardware for a couple minutes.
Yeah. But if there's but if chat wants to come in, please pull in questions. I also sent off a playlist of must-see super plays to Slow Beef earlier today, after he just got his mind blown by like Iconoclast's World Ignition thing. So I just decided to compile a few of my own.
Oh yeah, that's right. Slow Beef has been playing CC, right? Yeah.
He Pitashu and who was it? Blackbird are in a race to 1cc Arcade Original as we speak.
Ooh, nice. That's exciting, actually.
Oh, also announcement regarding Seraph and Caladrius. In case you do not already know, Seraph is looking into ways to record his Caladrius Blaze runs.
Ooh.
So, soon you may see some of the most mind-blowing super plays he actually set up a ghetto stream at like 6 a.m. in the morning Eastern. I just came on and for Death Threat, and he just picked up 100 million all right off the bat without even a moment's thought. It was just like, yeah, it was 15 frames per second, but oh my god, that was just mind-blowing to me.
You know,
So
on the topic of replays, you mentioned earlier, and I this is cool news actually. Seraph, he's not only the Western record, but the world record holder for most of the ships in Caladrius, correct?
Overall record holder for default characters in the game, but I think he only plays as Lilith.
Yeah, that sounds right. But back to replays, you mentioned Muchi Muchi Spork, and actually, Spork has a lot of clears online, and he's.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say he's a bad player because he's not. He's just not a score player. He's actually very good at playing for clears, and and watching his runs can be really interesting because he often has techniques which are very survival oriented. So if you're playing strictly to get a clear, watching some of his runs can actually be really interesting. For example, he has a very low rank Ibarra clear, which. I don't know if Kempop found it useful. I don't know if Kempop saw it, but it very much matched with some of Kempop's tactics when he was going for a low rank Ibarra clear as well. So sports videos are definitely worth checking out for people who are new to the genre or who are just looking to see some interesting strategies in play. I think he's Cave STG, all caps, on YouTube, unless I'm mistaken.
KPCB.
KPCB.
That's right.
Yeah, and he also has HD uploads of the Dodonpachi campaign version runs as well, remastered from the original VHS.
Very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay,
Alright,
so
well-
Oh yeah, those are mind blowing to watch. Like oh my god.
yeah, guys, watch it. So we have a question from Muppy Love who wanted to hear more about arcade cabs.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to speak a little bit more on that in about high-res ones. I own New Net Cities, 2 New Net Cities, and 1 Ethernet 3. They're both tri-sync monitors. Now, what that means is you can play 15 kilohertz, 24K, and 31K style PCBs or setups. Usually the high-res ones are what you see for Naomi, Sega Naomi setups. So not a lot of games use it, but what's really handy is you can use the VGA connector along with pad hacks to play your Cave Xbox 360 games, Escatos in a cab. So that's really fun. Maybe Software, you can talk about 15K games on since you own a Sega Astro City, New Astro.
I have 2 Sega cabs actually. I have a new Astro City NAC, which great cab. I got that from Arcade Game actually. I was looking for cabs in the LA area and just mentioned it on the forum, and then he PMs me one day and he's like, "Hey, I might be able to help you get a cab." So that was really exciting.
Arcade Game is
he's
awesome.
like he's like
so
the
cool.
best guy. Seriously,
Yeah.
he's so cool. And he has so many cabs and so many of them are in great shape. Like he has what, like 2 E29s now, and they're both like brand new.
Like,
anyway,
at
this guy
one
has an
point,
amazing collection.
He picked me up from Union Station to go to one of Frenetics meets, and like we hung out at his place for a bit. And like, I mean, I guess this was like as he was starting to set up like his like room thing of all the cabs, and it's like there's so many cabs in there. It's insane, and they're all really nice. And
yeah,
he
just has a knack for finding really high quality cabs.
Yeah,
and he has
really
tons
cheap
of them
too. Like he mentioned he got like 2 cabs or something for like $200 total or something. Totally
crazy.
Insane.
And he restores them too, so like he'll if he has one that has like a great front but a shitty back, like this beat to hell, he'll restore the back, but he'll use the front on another machine that has like a pristine back, it's great. Anyway, so I have a new Astro City, which is a 15K cab. I believe the monitor I have in there can also switch to 24K, but to be quite honest, there's
most
not.
of those do both.
It's a NS9, so. But to be honest, there's not a lot of 24K games, and I don't have a lot of interest in using that feature at the moment. And then I have a Sega Blast City as well, with a replacement monitor, unfortunately, but it is still an auto-sync tri-sync monitor, which is very, very nice. And it's great because literally I can just like make a pad hack and plug my Xbox straight into it and it just works, which is really a handy feature. For my Astro, I actually have a converter board that I use that takes an RGB SCART signal and converts it to a JAMA standard RGB signal. I bought that from a guy named Viletim. If you just Google that name, his stuff will pop up right away. It's very, very high quality hardware. And it's nice and modular too, which is pretty useful. So if I ever want to get I have a Dreamcast, if I want to get my Dreamcast in there, I can just swap that out. If I want to get a PlayStation in there, I can swap that out. It's a pretty nifty setup, especially since PCBs are pretty expensive for someone without an actual job.
That's right, guys. Cave made those ports, so no need. If you don't have the cash, just play the ports. It's okay. Or if you can only get to main.
The thing is, the ports are generally better than the PCB because the PCBs have really bad sound for the most part.
That is so true.
Especially with the Cave games.
Yeah, especially with... Well, I mean, I'm specifically talking about Cave games. Their PCBs just have the worst sound. Like, it's so crackly and just garbage. Like, there's no reason not to get the ports instead, in my opinion.
There you go. You heard it from arcade cab collectors here. So Shmuppy Love, what was your question for the chat about cabs? Was there anything specific you wanted to hear about?
He's not actually in the chat room yet. Let me remind him to come in here. I don't know if he can hear us.
So for the sound, the PGM and the first gen ones are okay. It's the CV1000 games in particular that have just dreadfully bad sound. The first gen is not very good sound either. PGM sounds good though. Like, there's no issues with that. The
So
first gen...
Espelute.
Espelute, Diojo, and Ketsui have good sound. The first gen ones are a similar issue to the CV1000 ones, but it's less pronounced. Like, it's not as bad, but it's noticeable if you're trying to pay attention to it. Like, you can hear the crackling and that garbage.
Oh yeah, by the way guys, yeah, you're in the Shmups channel room. Come on in and join the STG Weekly room so you guys can chat and group too. Not Bomba Bar, but STG Weekly. So. Some more things about...
The Bomba Bar is what I generally use for streaming. I'm not really sure what it is. It just kind of happened there one day, and I think it used to be called the Awesome Place or something, which was...
Yeah, so it was room number 1, and then it was changed to the Awesome Place or something.
That's like, the actual name.
That was it. Awesome Place or something. That was what it was called. And then it got changed to Bomba Bar because, yeah, we didn't have a name. It was just like, whatever.
Yes, Ledwig, you can come in as well.
Yeah,
please
you might be able to actually move Shmuppy Love in yourself. Like, if you just click and drag on him and drag him into the STG Weekly room. Because I think you're an admin or whatever. Bam.
Hi.
Welcome,
Shmuppy Love, can you hear us? Welcome.
Sounds like a no.
Still having mic trouble?
Oh, you can type your question though.
Yeah, please do type your questions if you can't get your mic to work.
So
in the
guys,
meantime, it sounds like Ledwing's on the way.
Yeah, if you want to buy arcade cabs, here's my advice for you guys out there: go make sure if you can to go see it in person.
Yes.
And buy a working cab. Don't buy a cab that has problems because if you're just buying a cab, you probably don't know how to fix it. So it's really expensive to source Japanese arcade parts. So if you get go in and don't buy one that's like needs a new control panel or whatnot. You got to pay a premium. So it's save your pennies, buy once, and that's it. You know, when I was going in to buy my cabs, I went there in person, or I had asked for a lot of pictures. For the STG Weekly, I bought from a trusted dealer. To buy cabs, you can go through Ken at the Game Room, or you can, I think Neo Geo has group buys through CDAM. So join those forums, participate, and message them that you want to get in on the group order. But that's the most important thing.
I would also say definitely see it in person if you can. I mean, that's a huge thing. Let's see. Shmuppy Love, you have a friend who wants to get a cab. What kind of price range? Well,
So
it depends on what you want,
depends on
actually.
where you are as well.
And where you
like,
are.
Location is like huge because some places have like no cabs at all, so you're not going to get them cheap. And then some have so many that it's hard to not find them cheap.
Yeah, like the West Coast has a lot of cabs, so they tend to be less expensive. The Midwest has a few. This central U.S. has very few, from my understanding. And then East Coast, it can vary. I think there's generally a fair number of them circulating around, though, but they're a little more expensive than they are on the West Coast. That's my general understanding of it. The other thing I would highly recommend is do your research before looking into it. There are a lot of things to know about cabs. I mean, what does 15K versus 31K mean? I mean, that's just a picture format, but people don't always understand. What's JAMA? Like, do you want JAMA or JVS? Do you want, a cab with one sync ratio, or that can go 15K, or do you want 15K 24K? Do you want 31K dedicated? Do you want multi-sync? Do you want, something that can be easily rotated? Do you want something that's easy to move around? Are you okay with an American style like woody cabinet, or do you want a Japanese candy cab? There's all kinds of different variables, and it would take hours and hours and hours to go through all of them. But there's tons of great resources out there that can really help you understand.
I'd recommend the Arcade Otaku Wiki is really good.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
really, really good. So definitely check there for basically any questions you have. Almost all of them should be answered there.
Yeah, the Arcade Otaku Wiki has answers to basically every question you can possibly have about Japanese cabinets. If you want an American woody cab, there's a lot of other places you can look. I think there's whole forums like I think even there's good resources on stuff like Build Your Own Arcade and everything. I think they have good resources on just general cab maintenance. But if you're looking specifically for candy cabs, there's Arcade Otaku is great. Hard Candy is great. And just know what you're getting into and know what you're looking for. I mean, if you go to I don't want to say people are going to try to trick you, because they're not, but some people are. I mean, some people are going to sellers, and they're not going to show you everything about the cab. And if you know what to look for, you will save yourself a lot of money and a lot of headache. So, just be aware. Ledwing has a great point in chat here. For Western cabs, literally just look on Craigslist and you will probably find a lot locally available for cheap. Problem is that they might be in shit condition, and you usually have no way of knowing, and people on Craigslist may or may not be willing to let you take a closer look. I would say if someone refuses to let you see it in person and give it a thorough examination, just don't waste your time. Go somewhere else. You need to be able to get familiar with it before, have them show you how to turn it on, have them show you how to set up a game, how to change games if they know how, maintenance if they know how to do it. Have them walk you through it. Even if you think you already know everything, have them walk you through every step of the process that they're willing to do. Just to prove to you that it all works and they know their shit.
That's right. Keep an open mind and listen, and keep your eyes wide open. Again, we were talking about costs. I'd say, for a good new Astro City, it's also good to buy a cab. If you find the cab, people like Egret 2s, but they're pretty pricey. So why not settle for a Astro City or new Astro City? If you're playing shmups, keep it in Tate. Play one game. Play a game.
New Astro Cities tend to be like the cheapest good one. Like, they're really easy to find in general, and they look fantastic. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're just very common, so they end up being the cheapest usually.
Need to stress there's nothing wrong with them. The monitors in the new Astros are fantastic.
It's gorgeous. Personally, I like the monitors better than like the higher end ones, because it's low res only, so it looks better with a low res game. We didn't go into that earlier, but it's worth noting that a tri-sync monitor generally doesn't look as good with low res games in comparison to a low res monitor.
Yeah, there are some exceptions. There are some monitors that work really, really well.
But the Wias that come for Thomas Waves, they are kind of not as good. So yes, get a dedicated 15K.
I can, from experience with my Blast, which is a tri-sync, it does not look as good at 15K as it does at 31K. So there's a very real difference. It actually doesn't work as well. it sometimes drops sync at 15K, and so it'll like lose the game signal for 5 seconds in the middle of a run, and that can be the difference between a phenomenal run and I ran into a bullet when I wasn't meaning to, and now everything's this is terrible. So it's, yeah, it's definitely a thing. And where is your friend located? You still haven't really done that. We can give you some more specific advice.
In like Ontario, so I'd assume there.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
So Canada.
Canada.
Oh, okay. So, there's a dealer in Canada. You can contact Color Thief. He's not a dealer, but he knows how to get cabs. He's a contact in Canada. So Schmuppy Love. Oh, arcade operators, they love getting money. So yes, talk to them.
Yes,
talk to them, but
absolutely.
don't be too enthusiastic. Treat it like buying a car from a used car salesman. So
Yeah,
Schmuppy Love's in Toronto.
That's a good philosophy to have towards it. Like, treat it like buying, you would a used car or any other high value used item. Yeah, I definitely do. Just ask them. You won't know until you do. And I've heard horror stories, and I've also heard amazing finds, like people getting 3 DDR cabs for $200. Like, I'm not even making this shit up. So it really just depends on the circumstance. I mean, they could be trying to downsize, or they could be willing to help you find someone to import if they're not willing to sell anything on their own. There's all kinds of different things that could happen, but you won't know until you ask. And Ledwing, this monitor talk, just a very brief overview. There's kind of 3 different video standard sync speeds, basically. You can think of it that way. So 15K is 15 kilohertz, so 15,000 times per second is the typical sync scan ratio of what's called low resolution arcade games. And then there's also a medium resolution, which is 24K, and a high resolution, which is 31K. And you don't really need to understand the details of why those numbers are what they are, or what they specifically mean. Just know that if you try to play a 15K game on a monitor that will only support 31K, it won't work. And there's a chance that not only will it not work, it will destroy the game or the monitor or any number of other things.
It just won't work. So don't buy a Sega Net City.
It's just bad.
That's only a high res. That's only a high res cap. So stay away from Sega Net Cities or any like a Crazy Taxi cab. You can't mod those because those are high res only.
Or you have to use a scaler or something, which is its own complicated issue.
Yeah, that introduces lag. So yeah, don't. Just buy once and that's it.
Go ahead.
So with shmups you can play the same game over and over. So buy cab, buy one PCB. A game that that you would love playing.
The other thing that I was going to mention about monitors, and Ledwing's asking for CRT only. Technically, no. If you have an RGB signal, like a VGA signal for a computer monitor, that's actually a 31K signal. It's just that modern monitors are only really responsive to 31K if they're using RGB, and if they're using digital, it's a completely different system and has no bearing on this at all. So HDMI, DVI, no connection at all. Composite component, no connection at all. But in general, a lot of devices nowadays will be using 31K if they use RGB at all. So like the Xbox 360 has a VGA cable, right? Awesome. So that's RGB. I can just plug that straight into any old arcade cabinet, it'll work right away. No. The Xbox 360 VGA comes out at 31K. So you have to have some way of, you either have a 31K cabinet, or you have to downsample it or down convert it so that it will work at 15K.
And there's
With a
lots of
file
ways
sim.
to do this.
Yeah.
There's lots of
File
resources
sim.
on how to do it. That's actually SCART, which is a different format altogether, which European people will be familiar with, and
Ugh.
will be like, "What the fuck is this?"
SCART.
Oh,
Scar.
so, quick correction. Composite and component do have the same sync signal thing.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, so for composite, like the entire video signal, including the synchronization, is over that one yellow cable. And with component, it's sent along with the green wire. Like they combine the color and the sync into one signal, which is kind of strange. It's hard to explain how it works, but I believe Wikipedia has a very good information on how that works. But yeah, those have the sync signal built in as well. So
Okay.
So it's still relevant, like what system it comes off of, for like what the horizontal sync is on it.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Are there converters and scan converters and stuff? Yes. What do those run price-wise? Well, that varies, and there's a shit ton of different options. If you want good information on scalers and scan converters and all that kind of stuff, Shmups Forum member Fudo, F-U-D-O-H, has basically researched the topic more than anyone else I've ever heard of. He has a website which compiles information about basically every single scaler imaginable, including scan converters, line doublers, de-interlacers, specific tools that are only designed to rotate your picture or rescale it or re-keystone it. He's probably like the most knowledgeable man on earth about this exact topic. So if you have questions about scaling and scan conversion, he's definitely the one to ask. I will see if I can find his website right now and grab you a link.
Yeah, come into Shmups Forum and talk in the hardware section. They're always able to answer questions.
Alright, there we go. I posted a link to his site, which has information on a lot of different scalers in the chat there. So yeah.
Yeah, I have an XRGB-2, so look for those. Microsoft is the company that makes a lot of very good scalers. You might also hear about Extron as well.
Yeah,
But check out
Extron.
Fudo's house.
Yeah. Interesting fact, Microsoft also makes capture cards. That's the capture card that I use. It's one of very few capture cards which is readily available right now and can pull directly from arcade sources. So it can actually take 15K RGB if you have it set up right. Anyway, let's see. Are there any other questions from chat that we should address right now? Let's see. Yeah, Leadwing, finding a good cab for a good price in Texas is probably going to be difficult. You'll probably almost certainly have to pay a significant premium. Your other option might be to buy it from somewhere on the West Coast and have it shipped. And depending on what you're looking for, that might actually be cheaper. Freight shipping that kind of a distance is not cheap at all. But depending on what outlets you use, I mean, I've heard stories of people who've had stuff shipped for as little as like $200. And so if your options are buying one cab for $1,000 in Texas, or basically the same cab for $500 on the West Coast, and that might literally be what the price difference is, but then shipping it over, it might actually be cheaper to buy it on the West Coast and have it shipped over. It's a huge inconvenience, but that could certainly be an option.
Yeah, but you get your cab and you get it right away. So you might want to talk to Ken at the game room. He's familiar with shipping through North American van lines. I'll put that link, and that way you get something right away instead of spending all like a better part of a year trying to find that cab. So let me go get his link for you, and here we go.
And Ryan, were you the one who was talking about specific dealers in Canada? Because Schmuckle was asking about that.
He was saying to talk to Color Thief because he has a fair amount of cabs, and I believe he knows where you might be able to find others.
Yeah, I think there was
yeah.
some guy that bought like a group order in Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, or you could, I don't know if the guy still has any, but you could talk to Koa, who set me up with some cabs a while back. But I don't know if the place that he found them still has anymore, so maybe it's not relevant anymore.
But it wouldn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely ask. And Johnny Five has a bunch of cabs that I think he sold a few recently, but I think he probably knows where to find some as well. So, and Bren's is also cool, but you could ask Johnny Five and you can ask Bren's for you or something.
To be honest, a lot of finding cabs is just asking people, you know, hey, do you know how to get arcade cabs? Can you help me find one? I'm interested in buying one. And just a lot of it will just come from that. I mean, like we're seeing here, like, you know, sometimes these people are just collectors who happen to have a lot of cabs. They might know people. Sometimes they're arcade operators who might know people or who might have some they're willing to sell. Basically, it's the kind of thing where you have to kind of proactively go out and ask about it, and if you do that, hopefully, you'll find something. Are there any other outstanding questions in chat? Or any other people who want to call in? You know, we're still going for another couple of minutes, but we're probably, it seems like we're winding down here. So. No?
Okay, guys, maybe we should start wrapping this up again. Thanks for joining us on the STG Weekly podcast of the year in review and our discussion about what's upcoming for this year and also arcade hardware. If you have any more questions, please feel free to contact us on Shmups Forum or in the Shmups IRC or Shmups Mumble. We're available for you guys
Or on
to
Twitter,
answer
or
your
on Facebook,
questions.
or on YouTube.
Yeah. Or if you
We're
just
all
want
over
to
the
talk
place.
to anything. Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
Ledwing, when will there be a DOJ STG Weekly? Well, I know that some people have been asking about that, and it is my chance to choose episodes in a couple weeks. The weekend of February, I don't even know off the top of my head. But soon, it is my chance to choose. Let me look this up actually. Aha. So, the weekend of the 22nd, excuse me, the 8th, which will be my... I'm definitely strongly thinking about having DOJ be the topic for the episode coming the weekend of the 8th. I can't guarantee anything. I still need to reach out and talk to people, but I already have ideas for a couple replays that we might use. And presuming I can get the okay from the rest of the staff, I'm thinking it might be a good time. So maybe look forward to that.
Okay, guys. Also, there's going to be a Southern California pinball streaming right now. So I'll post the link in this SGG Weekly. I've been trying to get them to play shmups. So here you go, guys. Watch some pinball. It Never Drains Final, the Papa event. So, if you're trying to dodge bullets, for this one you're trying to keep one bullet in the air. Okay, are we a go?
I think we're good.
Alright. Soft Drink and Trap 15, myself, F-Man, and Soda Machine bid you guys a fond farewell. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Keep shmupping, playing SGGs, and We'll see you guys later.
Later,
Peace.
everyone. Thanks
See
for
ya.
watching.
Later.